Welcome, everybody. The whole gang is back. We finally have a week where everybody is healthy and awake and willing to go. So the Brain Trust is back for 2025. Lots of fun stuff to talk about in the market. You know, CPI light, PPI is light, so inflation does not exist anymore. You're not allowed to complain about it. Bank earnings kicking off strong today. Markets in a good mood overall. So I will start with our friend JR, since JR has been gone for so long. He's been battling pneumonia, but he's back. So JR, what do you think of the market's reaction today?
It was expected. I told the room yesterday, you know, if CPI comes in line or lower, then just watch the 10-year. If the 10-year does not, if the 10-year doesn't trap shorts and bounce right back, and we have a sustainable bearish move, you know, it's going to be time to get aggressive to the buy side, and that's what I did. I basically chimed in on the mic at 8:35 and said I just bought everything. So I took a lot of long positions on, traded the long side very aggressively this morning, and so far it's worked out well.
Okay, Derek, you've talked a lot about rates being a potential risk for the market. Do you think anything changed on that front over the last couple of days?
Today, so bulls needed this victory on the CPI and to some degree the PPI yesterday, I think very badly. One of the three major risks in this market right now is just the tightening cycle that's been coming from the move higher in interest rates and the move higher in the dollar. And we just got a huge relief bounce in this TLT and a trade lower this morning in the dollar, though the dollar's bounced back a little bit during the day. That's exactly what bulls need to wake back up a little bit, to recapture some key levels in the S&P, the Qs, and the IWM. We've done that this morning. And I guess similar to JR, I feel like I gave one of the most bullish morning meetings in quite some time today. I basically was like, look, this changes everything. The bull market is back. Let's see if the VIX gets crushed. And now I just want to see a good close today to finally prove it. But we're looking good.
Okay, Sami, over to you. So you were talking about over the weekend IWM, like looking very messy compared to the S&P and the Qs, and IWM is up big today. Do you think anything has changed for IWM here?
I was wrong. No, I mean the IWM. What I said is that the pullback was more than just a pullback. It was showing a lot of weakness. A lot of the IWM stocks were down like 50% or more. So that remains to be the case. The IWM is going to do well if the entire market goes up. But, I mean, it remains much, much weaker than the Qs and the SPY. So nothing changes for me. But, yeah, but we have a short-term market bottom. I'm pretty sure about that. That yesterday's low should mark the bottom for now, at least.
Okay, all right. I think that's a good segue into sort of the current market environment, because Trump is about to come into office. We have this massive post-election rally where the banks were doing great, Bitcoin was doing great, semiconductors, things have pulled back a little bit. Like Sami said, it's been nothing particularly drastic. And so conventional wisdom out there is sort of, you know, if the market's gone up for a while, it has to come back down, because, you know, that's the rule. What goes up must come down. So, JR, I want to put it to you. Do you think, is there a chance of sort of a second win for the market, like a Trump trade 2.0?
I think it's too early to tell. Just structurally speaking, you know, what I told my room the past couple of days, there's been a lot of negativity in the market, a lot of naysayers, a lot of people talking about a 10% correction, you know, talking about we got ahead of ourselves. And what I've been telling people is, you know, we've had a relatively early descent since the December 18th ignition of the downward move, but all of the key anchored VWAPs have held, correctly, meaning the buyer interest has come in where I expected it to, and we're just we're bouncing off of a lower trend line and off of an anchored VWAP into an upper trend line, and what looks to me like a bullish reaccumulative type of structure. It looks like a sort of a falling wedge in the market. So what I would look for now is for the options market to go gamma positive. So SPX, we're looking at 5,900. And I think that's going to be a sort of the flip. I need to see a hourly, actually a 2-hour higher pivot low in the market that gets well respected, and I need to see the upper trend line, the declining line on the NDX and the SPX taken out with a higher pivot low. Once that happens, I think you're going to see continuation of what for now looks like a squeeze.
Okay, Derek, what do you think? Is there any trend here that you see?
Is there any market trend, or is there anything about the Trump rebalance trade that you're asking about? Or
Yeah,
Trump
yeah,
2.0?
I mean, does it look like things can continue higher?
After today, I think that things can continue higher, at least in the short time frame. I still want to see us take out some resistance levels. What we have now, I think, for all three indexes is kind of a false breakdown. So like I had been eyeing SPY 580, I had been eyeing QQQ 510, I had been eyeing IWM 218. We broke below all three of those levels for all three indexes, hung out below it for like 2 days or so, and now we've snapped back up. So we just had a false move to the downside, which sometimes can lead to a fast move in the other direction, because new shorts that may have entered that breakdown have to get squeezed. Longs that liquidated their long positions because the market was breaking down are either rebuying, or at a minimum, they're no longer selling on the way up. So it just enables this market to move back up, I think, a lot more quickly that happened. As far as the new administration coming into office, we'll see what happens. The post-election hype was hype. Now it's going to be more about the policies that get implemented. So as an example, I think it was just yesterday morning that we saw a decent uptick in the market and a gap up off of some clarity that came from the administration that they might put tariffs on a little bit more slowly than doing it all at once. And the market loved that. So it's going to be about the policies as they actually get implemented now.
Okay, Sami, what are your thoughts from here?
I think you're onto something, Mike. I think there is going to be. Well, can you hear me?
Yeah, I don't think that's possible. I'm not onto anything.
I don't know. I think sometimes, every now and then, like every couple of days, you're onto something. You're onto something all the time, my friend. I think you're onto something. I really do. I think there is going to be a Trump 2.0 trade, maybe not as big as the one post-election. But the reason being is, if you look at the technical picture, the market, if you look at the Qs and the SPY, we have had the 3 or more lower highs, lower lows on the daily chart, and now we're starting to break that downtrend. We are hitting the declining moving averages on the daily chart, so we still need to deal with that. But I think, if we ended the downtrend and we're going to be ready for the next move up, I think it's going to happen post-inauguration. So I do think there's going to be another rally, let's call it Trump 2.0, after inauguration, which maybe it already started. I think it already started. So I do think that's going to happen. Will it be as dramatic as the first one that we got in November? I don't think so. But yeah, I think something big is probably coming.
Something big is probably coming.
Big move, I mean.
Good to know.
In the market.
Yeah. Okay. So I do want to bring up Sami, since I have you on. So DJT on December 18th, you came out very bullish. You said, "I'm not being political. I just think DJT looks great here." And it has gone from about 36 to 40 since then. Do you still like DJT?
Yeah, it looks good. It may need to consolidate a little bit before it resumes the uptrend, but the breakout bar that we got yesterday, I think, was pretty special. It's just that when the initial breakout bar, so I love breakouts I like it when I get a nice, big, solid green bar, but I don't like the bar to be 20 times the average size bar, 20 times bigger than the average size bar. So that's what we got, because when you get such a huge bar, it means the move is already in for now. So that's why I said we may need some consolidation a little bit before it resumes, but I do like the bar that we got yesterday for sure.
Okay. All right. Okay. So, JR, back on November 27th, you predicted a biblical rally in Nvidia, and that was at the time when the market was basically in, okay, Nvidia's going out of business, AI is dead, and it went from 132 to about 153, and it's come back down again. Are you still an Nvidia fan after this, wacky round trip?
First of all, I'd like to say half of my job at T3 is to keep you out of trouble. And I shared in Sami's enthusiasm so much that I actually texted you privately, and I said, "Don't short DJT." So you're welcome.
Thank you. I just let the record show that I thanked Mr. Romero. Go on, JR.
I like to keep you out of trouble. So you have basically you have an unfinished auction through the highs in Nvidia, and basically you profile Nvidia here. Your most traded volumes 138.69, which I think will be tested in short order. Now, a lot of technicians are going to look at this and see sort of distribution and potential rollover. All I'm seeing in Nvidia is a reaccumulative consolidation. I think it's got my target on Nvidia is 178 to 180. I think we are going to hold the 125 level. That's your big protective put level in Nvidia. So as long as it holds 125, I expect the trend to continue.
Okay. All right. Derek, I was going to ask you about Palantir, but Palantir is boring because we need to talk about quantum computing. And if anybody out there in the audience knows what quantum computing is, please let us know in the chat. So
I know what quantum computing is, I think.
Okay, all right. I mean, that's always the fun thing in the market is you can make money without knowing anything about what the company does.
It's based on the concept that like light.
Oh shit!
At the same time.
Uh-oh.
So that means that in the computing realm, you can have like I don't know anything about computers, but I know that computers are ones and zeros. But in a quantum computer, you got your ones and your zeros, but your 1 and your 0 can be a 1 and a 0 at the same time, and that just is like a wild concept that opens up to a ton of potential. But then you've got these pre-revenue companies that are worth at a certain point a couple of weeks ago, like this RGTI was worth $5.5 billion, even though they have $8 million in revenue in the first 3 quarters of 2024. So some of the hype is probably real, but like Jensen Huang said, when he crushed these stocks, it's probably 20 years down the road. With that said, these things have been phenomenal trading vehicles. We were heavily short, did really well with it. And then I flipped long a couple trading sessions ago as a swing trade. Caught this bounce back. We got great follow through this morning. I liquidated my longs in the quantum computing stocks pre-market this morning, and then started to flip them short at a certain point. I was pretty patient on that, but started to flip them short. So I went from short to long to short, and the movements are insane. I mean, RGTI went from $21+ down to $6 in 4 trading sessions, and then bounced from $6 to almost doubled in price in 2 trading sessions. I mean, it's crazy. There's so much opportunity to make money on these things. I do think at a certain point, though, and this was one of the things I kind of give a warning to on my team yesterday afternoon, even though I still traded them pretty heavily today. At a certain point, they'll probably get a little bit more difficult to trade. And you don't want to be that new trader who just like watches all the movements and you think everybody's making a ton of money in them, and that might be true. And then all of a sudden, after the easier trades are gone, then you start to trade them because I see new traders do stuff like that all the time, and you do it right when the market gets more difficult for them, and then you don't make any money, and you're like, oh my God, Not only did I not make money, but I lost a ton of money trying to trade these things. But they've been phenomenal. The long I took, though, to be clear, I don't believe in these stocks. It was just an extension bounce trade when they dropped from RGTI from $21 down to $6, and it played out perfectly. But liquidated that, I'm out of the way, and I'll trade them if more opportunity comes in.
Okay, we do have somebody in the audience, and I think actually this is the perfect encapsulation of what's going on with quantum computing. This person is telling this person Spock, so I know this person is definitely from JR's room. Quantum computing is the beginning of wisdom, not the end. And that's all you need to know for companies with like $10 billion market caps and no revenues. It's the beginning of wisdom, not the end. So Sami, are you playing with any of these quantum computing stocks?
I not yet. I mean, if I can spot a good trade, I'll do it, even if I didn't know anything about quantum computing. So but not yet. I don't think I've gotten involved in them except for like day trades here and there, but that's about it.
JR, how about you? Because I know you're active in a lot of tech names and AI, and I know you. Did you tell me you did terrible things to Rigetti? Or
I've done awful
did I
things to
hallucinate
Rigetti in every direction. The things we did to Rigetti computing in our room are probably felonies in at least 48 states.
Not Idaho.
Yeah, Derek's laughing because we've been texting back and forth going, can you believe this crap? It's just been absolutely amazing. And the pre-market today, I slammed the offer, traded the ever-living snot out of it to the long side. The whole Nvidia backtracking like a garbage truck after Jensen Huang put his foot in his mouth, saying, "Oh, okay, well, we're going to take quantum computing seriously. Let's give them a conference." That was good enough for a little bit of a short covering rally off the pre-market pop, and it's been crazy. I shorted Rigetti. Derek was already short. I shorted it, I think, at 17, and the post market on Jensen Huang's comments covered it at like 12, then reshorted it to $8. I mean, it's just been absolutely wild. I do have to say, I think Derek's totally right. Once the excitement wears off, these are going to chop around for a long time, and not in a good way.
Now, JR, do you think Jensen is sort of playing investor relations games because this feels like a way that Nvidia can sort of attach itself to quantum computing without actually doing anything? Because I think there's sort of the implication that these bullshit quantum computing companies will be buying Nvidia stuff in the future. Do you think it's like sort of IR smokescreen?
I think so. So I'm a computer engineer by training. Like that's what I went to school for. And Derek probably knows more about quantum computing than I do. He certainly gave a more intelligent answer. But I do know that in terms of error correction, this is a huge challenge that's unsolved in quantum computing. The primary problem is that you have the extreme sensitivity of qubits to environmental disturbance. So the slightest change in temperature off that like cryo-frozen cluster basically at the molecular level causes those qubits to lose information. So we're nowhere near being able to stabilize that information flow. And for now, it's a bit of a pipe dream. I mean, like 6 months ago, or I think it was 6 months ago, you asked me what, when Nvidia was ripping, you asked me what's the next big thing. And I told you at some point the quantum names are going to catch a bid, but it's going to be like, remember DDD with the 3D printing? The market was just 10, 20 years ahead of what's going to be a really important trend. And I think the same thing is true for quantum computing names,
Funny enough, 3D is like what price does it trade at? It used to trade at 120. It's now at like $3. I don't know what price it trades at. So
Exactly.
316.
Yeah.
I mean, but the thing is quantum computing like a solution in search of a problem? Like, do we actually need it?
I mean, they say that the real power of quantum computing, that they can solve a problem that would take a traditional computer like millions of years to be able to solve. So the pipe dream, I guess, is that quantum computing is what can really solve cancer and all these major problems that humans have to kind of go through. So that's the big pipe dream. We'll see if that plays out or not.
Yeah.
So we haven't reached artificial general intelligence yet, and AI is as of yet unable to reason. It uses heuristic models to actually regurgitate coherent answers and solve problems. When artificial general intelligence is able to reason and think creatively, you're going to see major innovation breakthroughs and discoveries. I mean, it's going to be like the Gutenberg press times 10.
Our friend Phil is telling us quantum is more of a fantasy than 3D printing. Could crack encryption. Scott wants to get his taxes done faster. I don't know. I feel like we don't need a quantum computer to like tell us how to. It would probably just say stop eating Twinkies and McDonald's. You won't get cancer.
Don't you want to live forever, Mike?
I want to upload my my psyche to a computer so people can enjoy me until the end of time. Okay.
We could do this podcast till the end of time.
Yeah, so it could be insert hot topic. Wait, what do you think?
Sammy's like, kill me now, please.
Okay. All right. So it is almost time to close out, and it is idea time. So who wants to go on the hot seat first? I'm picking JR.
Oh, wow.
JR and I haven't spent any time together in a long time. Do you like anything? Do you hate anything?
You put me on the hot seat without my watch list. How dare you? Hold on a second.
I can go first.
All right.
Yes, please, Sammy.
All right, let me
did the hostile takeover by Sammy.
No, it's a kind takeover since he wasn't ready.
Yes.
Okay, so crypto is looking pretty good, especially XRP. This is the daily chart of X. Is my screen coming through okay?
Yep. Mm-hmm.
So this is the daily chart of XRP. I did the pre-market. I do the pre-market prep on the mic in the room, and I mentioned it long over 158, 160. So right here long, and it's triggered after a good start. Still not too late. That's XRP. So I like crypto a lot higher. In terms of individuals, in terms of stocks, and it's not just XRP. As you can see over here, they're all doing well. I mean, the Solana had a failed breakdown, so that looks really, really good on the weekly chart. So I can go into each and every one of them, but the cleanest, best one right now is the XRP. Okay. In terms of daily watch list, there isn't a whole lot going on. This is my daily watch list actually, so I have like 24 names, but I would say these are the favorites right now. The VNet was the Chinese name that shook me out, so I'd like to get back in it. The Wix looks amazing on the monthly chart. RBLX looks amazing on the monthly. WBA might have bottomed. That's Walgreens. It might actually have bottomed. I don't like the entry on it just yet. And then OKLO triggered actually today. Then we have the cruise lines, which are doing a nice weekly buy setup. The cruise lines. A lot of these are weekly buy setups. Like IP is a weekly buy setup. Lemonade, I'm watching for a weekly entry. HMNST is a weekly entry. I talked about Geo last time. And if you look at Geo, it's doing pretty well, looking great. Funny, it's a prison stock, so I feel like I don't want to trade it. There's so much negativity about it, but I mean not about the stock, but about it being a prison stock. Oh, I don't know that this is pulling up the right symbol. I'm on. I don't know. That doesn't look like the right symbol to me. I'm on Trading View because I wasn't able to log into my normal platform. It looks like I need to reset the password, but that's not the right.
I think, Sammy, I think if you scroll down to
Okay.
US stocks in the drop down.
yeah, it was listed to like Geo One, because I know the name of the company is Geo Group.
Okay. Geo Group. No, that's not US. Supposed to be a US stock. And look, I'm on the stocks tab, so it's weird. All countries. Yeah, maybe just USA. Yeah, it's weird. I don't know why it's not giving me the right chart. Yeah, that's not the right chart either. But anyway, look it up. Geo and CXW. Those are the two prison stocks. I don't know what's going on with TradingView, but whatever. So that's my list. It's not an amazing list at the moment. It's not, but I would say those are my favorite ideas from the list. That EOSE, I have a call on it, triggered already. Looks really good also on the daily chart, daily buy setup. So this one, but it already triggered, just triggered today or yesterday. It's not too late. Still looks really, really good. And those are my ideas.
Yeah, I will say that my favorite of all of them is WBA, because that seems like a classic Sammy like garbage stock, because every time I go into a wall, I don't know what's going on with you guys. Everything in New York, it's either the shelves are empty or everything's locked up. So,
right. I mean, it does look like it might have bottomed. By the way, Twilio may be getting ready for another breakout, which is probably my favorite long-term play is Twilio, TWLO. And it's been consolidating. We took half, but it might be getting ready for another breakout. So check that out.
Excellent. Okay. Thank you, Sammy. JR, we'll give you more time because you.
No, I'm good. I needed to just pull up my watch list.
You can wait. You waited long enough. You can wait a little longer. Okay, Derek, how about you? Is there anything you like here or don't like?
Yeah, I'm interested in these offshore drillers. This VAL Valaris already triggered like 2 days ago on this breakout through $47, so it might be a little bit late right now. But I think that there's a lot more room to run with these, and these are also trades that I think will benefit with the policies of the new administration. So VAL is my favorite in the space. You could also potentially look at like a RIG. I don't like RIG as much, but RIG hasn't actually gone yet. So RIG through like $4.20 or so. So those names, VAL is one of my biggest positions right now that I have as a swing trade. And then if we continue to see some relief in this TLT/dollar move, the interest rate and the dollar move, I think it puts the Chinese names back in play, which is like the secret one that you don't think about when you think about, oh, interest rates are improving. You immediately think about US-based companies because US interest rates are improving for those companies. But I think that what we saw back in September when these things went crazy, that was a result of the Fed beginning to cut because the Chinese government felt like they had runway to begin to stimulate their economy because we were cutting, and therefore it's not going to negatively impact the yuan in the same way. So if this bounce back that has started today into the TLT can be sustained, then I think that we're going to start seeing some more headlines come out of these China plays. They're just really tricky to trade because like I'm in Alibaba and I'm in JD. They don't trade well intraday generally. They traded well intraday again back in September and October because they were moving so rapidly and there was so much hype. But outside of that, they're very gappy because they gap based on the Hong Kong market and then don't trade as well intraday over here. So you kind of have to put on a decent amount of risk because they could gap against you and be involved in them for a swing trade in order to get paid. But I like that these are attempting to round up. I need this Alibaba to break this little descending channel that it's been in. JD is kind of already attempting to do that if it can break a little bit higher. So that's what I'm looking at.
All right, cool. Okay, JR, my friend.
All right.
What do you got for me?
There's a lot of developing bases I like. There's a lot of active trades that I like and some pending breakouts. Showing my chart here. I think GEV looks great. We're already long GEV. It broke a gorgeous weekly breakout here after the secondary IPO-based break. This to me looks like it's going to 400 in short order and beyond. I think our target's like 520 or something. That looks really good. AMD, I think, has bottomed, and I'm looking for a break of 122.50 I think there's a lot of upside in AMD. PLYA, Playa Hotels. You basically consolidated there for about 3 years, broken an ascending triangle type of formation, and now you've absorbed the overhead supply from 2017. And you have a really nice bullish consolidation. This to me looks like a whole measured move higher. PSTG, Pure Storage, we've been calling this one out as a really solid up and coming name for months since 2023. It had a beautiful two-legged move higher into the 70 handle off of a multi-month consolidation in January of this year. And now after a W bottom, it's building a really nice recumulative consolidation. And once I think they take out 70 and a quarter as the area of interest for overhead supply, I would expect a $10 to $20 measured move higher through the 80 handle. So this one looks really nice. Scorpio Tankers, talk about a blast from the past. This to me looks like it's bottomed. You have a breakaway gap that's holding. I'm looking for a move back to the 200-day around $67. Looks good. INTA, Intap, another base that needs to really build the right side here. But what I'm seeing is basically kind of a messy inverse head and shoulders forming. So if we get through, supply absorption at 71, I see resumption of trend and about a $25 measured move higher. Love the way this one looks on the weekly as well. Very strong chart. Rocket Lab is a room darling. We've been trading this one. Eddie, our room moderator, absolutely nailed this one for like 10 or 12 points. And I think we're building a new base here. And I easily see a move to $38 on this thing. It needs time. It needs time to develop. BST, we went long on the break of the brim here. And I think that buybacks in this one are going to be pullbacks are going to be viable. So, anchoring a view up here on the breakaway day, I think pullbacks to 162, most likely going to get bought. It's an area of high interest there in terms of the profile. Matches the top of value right there. So, fair value for bulls coming into 160, I think gets bought. You've got Bros. This one already went. But on the weekly, you see how strong this is. I think bullbacks are going to be viable in Dutch Bros. I think Sami really liked this one like a couple of months ago, right, Sami? GEV I talked about. Snap. This one needs some time. It's been consolidating between 12 and 10, and I see a move to 18 coming. We just we need to get through the 13 and a quarter handle. And let's see, CRDO. Yeah, CRDO, another base that's developing here after a high volume breakaway gap back in early December. Credo Technology. This to me looks amazing. Looks like a $30-$40 measured move higher through the 120 handle. This one is it's a slow, it's a steamboat to China type of play, but I see a big measured move taking place here. Looks great for a swing. We just need to let the base continue to build and probably take it on a weekly breakout. Looks great to me.
Excellent. Okay, guys. We managed to finally make it through a show together. It's been wonderful. I know I feel good. I hope everybody out there feels good. Unfortunately, I won't be here next week. Greta Wall is attempting a hostile takeover of the show, so she pushed me out for next week. But everybody have a wonderful day, and thank you guys for the ideas.
Thank you.
Take care, guys.